means a web app should be designed so that it anticipates the user's next move, what he will do. He is in the middle of the some pages he is visiting, what will be the next move, which page he will visit. That is the anticipation. So communication means the interface should communicate the status of any activity initiated by the user. So whatever he is doing, okay, so interface should communicate. Status means some downloading is going on, so he must be aware of that, how much it is completed. Consistency means the use of navigation controls, menus, icons and aesthetic colors. So these are the different navigation controls that we use. It should be in a consistent manner. Consistently it should be used in the throughout the interface. So control autonomy, the interface should facilitate user movement throughout the web app, but it should do in a manner that enforces the navigation conventions that have been stipulated for the applications. So whatever you have decided for navigation, some convention we make, some rules we make, okay, so you have to stick over that. Efficiency means the design of the web app and its interface should optimize the user's work efficiency, not the efficiency of the web app engineer who designs the build, designs and builds it, or the client environment that it executes. What is meaning of this? Means you are going to interact with the system through the interface. So you have to complete some work. You should be on you should have only within a very few move you can complete your task. If you want to complete some task, you don't you should not the interface should not be designed in such a way that you have to move many places then you complete. So it will degrade your it will degrade your efficiency over the system. So interface next one is the focus means what is the attention of the user's attentions, whatever is there in the web app, it should be the prime goal. The web app interface and uh, the content it presents, okay, should stay focused on the user's task, users objectives only. So one is the next one is the Fitts law. I told Fitts law is a very famous very famous law for in the designing of the interface. So in the designing of the interface, Fitts law says the time to acquire a target is a function of the distance and the size of the target. It's the size of the target. So how you will do that? Suppose you are having one size of you are having one window here, and your web, you can consider your web page in some particular position, one location, one content is there here only, and you are at this place. So here is my cursor or my pointer. So and it is at this distance d and its size is w. So what it Fitts law says, to move cursor from this place to reach this object. So this Fitts law says time to acquire target is function of the distance and the size of the target. Okay, so you can, if it is a distance d and the target and of the size is w, then you can write the formula like this, the time t. So how you will get, if this is the d distance, if distance will be more, if distance will be more, then time will increase to reach there, okay, and if you will decrease this size, again this will increase, so time will increase. So there this is the law that governs the movement in the movement in the user space from one place to the target user, target object. Next one is the human interface. A vast library of reusable human interface objects has been developed for the web apps. So you are aware of the many human interfaces that are available. So say for example, they are already there, you can reuse some of the example. I can say you are having menus already, you have the file folder icon, you can see file icon, you can see, okay, you can see the submit button, you can see checkbox, you can see what are these. These are nothing but the different reusable user well-known interface that we use. Recycle bin, my computer icon. So these, what are these? They represent some meaning and they are reusable. You can reuse these interfaces again and again. Okay. Next one is the latency reduction. Latency means delay. Latency is something related to the delay. The web app should use multitasking. Should use multitasking in a way that lets the user proceed with work as if the operation has been completed. Okay, so latency is nothing but the delay. So background some work is happening. So if you are doing work and some work is not completed, so your web app should have the this facility. You can start some other work also and let it done, and it should feel like that it is now completed. Later on you can switch over that, because we are working in a multitasking environment where more than one task at the same time can be completed, can be done. Next is the learnability. It is also a very good feature. This principle says a web app interface should be designed to minimize the learning time, and once learned, to minimize learning required when the web app is revisited. See it how easily you can learn to use that app. The interface should be designed in such a manner. So like that, like here human interface objects is there. Here I told we can use the icons, we can use the file, folder, menus, okay, buttons. So what are these? They represent some meaning, and if we look immediately, we it comes to our mind that what is the meaning and what action it will do. So this type of icons interfaces, if you are there, you can very easily you can learn. So this should be in a minimum effort, minimum time, the user can learn how to operate. And if he is revisiting, so relearning should not be there, should not be required. If you are coming once again to use that that application, so what it should be there, the once you learned, no need to learn again. Next, maintain work product integrity. It relates to the saving of the work automatically. Okay, whatever work you are doing, because if some errors, something happens, some what you can do, you can retrieve those work again. Suppose you are working in a MS Word, or you are preparing one presentation, and initially you saved, but what happened after some time, you are keep on working, forget to save. So what will happen if power goes off or anything happened? So what will happen after that? You will not get anything if this facility is not there. So there must be one provision that automatically auto save option is there, and it is saving with a certain interval of time by the system, by the web app itself. So readability means all information presented through the interface should be readable by young and old. Okay, because the interface whatever you are displaying, because interface is the main portion through which you will be able to interact with the system. So if the information is not readable, you are not able to read, not able to, then if you're not able, readability is not there, then you are not going to understand. So it will affect the, it will affect the system uses. It will create the difficulty for the user. So interface should be in such a way that it have the readability feature. Track state when appropriate, the state of the user interaction should be tracked, okay, and stored so that a user can log off and return later to pick up whether pick up where she left off. So what is happening, this feature says whatever you are doing, now you don't have time, you want to leave you later, but later on you want to do. So how you will do, how you will track whatever you did and from where you should restart. So this, if this facility is there, track state is there, then you can track and you can start from the place where you lift. So what happens in the Windows hyper, okay, hibernate option is there now some in Windows. Sometimes what happens, we are doing like we are doing some work in our computer. After that, what happens if we want to go somewhere? So what you will do, either you keep on running your system, okay, or you keep in sleep mode, or what you can do, or you can switch shut down your system. So in doing this, what you have to do, you have to close all the application, everything. And but you don't want to close anything, and whenever you come, you have to start, you can get the same as it is, the state you have sent left your system. So you make your system, you can make your system hibernate. So in so so this type of work can be done. One in applications there is one options, cookies, storing of cookies is also there. Storing the cookies, it is not a good way, it is a controversial topic. Storing the cookies, some other privacy, different issues are there, but in the application some many of the application they are storing the cookies means your states, they track your state, so that later on they can give you the place where you left you while using the application. Next, visible navigation. Navigation means we create the hyperlinks for moving from one place to another place within the pages. So a well designed web app interface provides the illusion that user are in the same place with the work brought to them. So whenever you are using navigating from one place to another place, there must be an illusion. Illusion means there will be it should look like that you are in a same place, but the things are coming from many places. But you should have the illusion in your mind that everything is in the same place. Okay, next one is the aesthetic design. This is the related to the how beautifully, how pleasant the design is there. Okay, so that it can attract to the users for interacting with the system. So your interface should have aesthetic design. So see here, don't be afraid of the white spaces. Okay, whatever white spaces is there means the blank spaces is there. What you do, emphasize the content, whatever matter you are writing. Organize your layout element from top left to bottom right, because it is our tendency to start looking from this direction. This one, top left to, okay, uh, this direction. Okay, so what you will do, organize your content from top left to bottom right. This bottom right is there. So you will arrange like this, means what you will do, you will go from left to right, then you keep on arranging. Okay, one thing, organize your elements from top left to bottom right. So it is our tendency, whenever view something, now we start from the left, immediately our side goes to that locations whenever we start watching something. In Blackboard also generally we start the left to right, na, top left to right. Okay, so this is the tendency of everyone. Don't extend your or your real estate with the scrolling bar. Sometimes what we do, we use the scroll bar, different scroll bar we are having. Means horizontal is scroll bar we having like this, and vertical like this. So what we can do, we can scroll the content if the content size is very large. If the content size is very large, then what we can do, we can put the content, but and we can use the scroll bar. So immediately what it will do, it will slide, you can look into the matter. But here the thing is, don't extend your real estate, okay, with the scrolling bar. Whatever important thing is there that you really want to show, and it should not be hidden from the user's site. So if you are using the scroll bar, naturally it is it is the possibility that the user may not interact, he may not go into that portion for scrolling. So it, because it is hidden, and maybe if it is not visible, there may be the case that it may be left unattended. So what you will do, you don't put the scroll bar for some important content, the real content that you want to show. So consider resolution and browser window size when designing layout. It is very important, very important. Consider, you have to consider the browser window, whatever browser you are using, and designing layout, because what happens, sometimes we have designed some web app and it is supporting some platform. So cross platform compatibility should be there. If you are cross browser problem should not come. If you are using one browser like Chrome, you are using the Mozilla, Firefox, Safari, any, so your application must be equally visible. There should not be scattering of the content, huh? There should not be distortion of the images. That's why we have to keep the resolutions and browser window size matter in the designs. Next one is the content design. So this one are the aesthetic design that we did. Now we coming to the content. Content means matter whatever you are writing in your website. So it develops a design representation. It develops a design representation for content objects. So what is the content object? We have one content class. From the content class, we can create different content objects. Means content class. It will have some attributes. Based on that, we will create the content objects. Okay, we'll see later on. So for web apps, a content object is more closely aligned with a data objects for the conventional softwares. So represents the mechanism required to instantiate their relationship to one another, analogous to the relationship between the analysis classes and the design components that we discussed in the previous component classes. An account, oh sorry, and a content object has attributes that include content specific information. Okay, and implementation specific attributes that are specified as a part having the different attributes. We'll see this in the, okay, you can see the content objects here. The article class is there. This is the content class we created. It is having the title, intro, body, and it's the data type attributes we decided. Based on that, we are creating the different objects and how they will be connected. Okay, these are the different content objects, how they will be content object will be connected, their relationship will be maintained. So these many things will include. Okay, come to this. Okay, let's take one example of the website. This website, you can see website pages there. So what is the website? Website is a collection of different web pages. And what is a web page? Web page is a single it is a single page, like you can treat as a book, which have the different content objects, like it will contain some text, image, graphics, whatever different things will be there. It will be as per your requirements. So what is happening, you can see here users objectives. This is the mapping user objective into the interface action. You can see here, you can this is a website home page. You can see here, you can look. What is this? This is called the header. This is the header location. In the header location, what you will keep, in the top location you will put some graphic banner, you will put, then logo. If some company website is there, you will put the logo for identification, for creating the that identification in the minds, for recognition of the people. So you are visiting which website. and it is also helpful for the company to make the recognition among the users. And the company name in the starting you will put, don't write here in the footer. Okay, so because this will create the impact on the and preliminary information in the mind of the users. It give the visualization. So you can see here, this is the header section. In the header section we will keep these informations. After that we decide, see here, 1 2 3 4, what are these are nothing but these are the menus, these are the different menus. So as per the object user objectives, you will map what are the list of user objective, you will start mapping for user interface in the beginning. So we kept here, like we can write here home, we can write here home. Okay, you can write something here, you can write here like about the organization, what it does. Okay, so these many points you can put here into the menus. And if the content is not sufficient, more objectives, sub objectives are there, so in that you can create the drop down list here only. If you will put the cursor, then it will drop down list will come. But what you will do, what is the more main objective, prime objective, and what is the main, so we'll keep here. Less important you will keep inside that. Whenever you put the cursor or click, the drop down list come, and you can pick one of the action that you want to do. So we can see here, navigation menu is there in the left side, you can see vertically it is there. So you, in the many website we have seen this type of different hyperlinks are there. Notice bar is scrolling, rolling up, rolling down. So what you can do, you can pick your one of the location here, you can pick and you can navigate to a particular location. Okay, for which it is meant, it is prepared. So because internally it is hyperlinked to a specific page, it will redirect yourself to that locations. So what is this? This is the navigation point, you can see. So this is the main body, this is the main body where you will keep everything. This is the body, this is the main content body, here we will keep. So here what you will put, you will write the text, whatever as per your requirement, what is your need, the primary information you want to put into the home page, you will keep. Okay, and some, if you are using, you want to use some graphics, you can use animation, you can use the video or whatever different graphics are there, you can use as per your requirement. So here it will be the, what is this? This is the footer. In the footer we also keep some basic information like copyright and what about these websites, and some important information we can keep here. So you can, now you can see how the mapping is done user of user objectives into the interface. So I think it will be very clear from this this diagram, this figure, what is actually what we are doing. It may be giving the clear visualization of the user interface. Okay, next we are coming to the architecture design. So content architecture focus on the manner in which the content objects or object composite objects such as the web page. Web page is treated as a composite object. Composite object means here it is combining, it is keeping more than one more than one content objects. Because what is happening, one page, you can look here, so we are having one object here and rest of the part here we are having this one. So if in a one page, so what is this is the composite objects, this is a collection grouping of different objects. So what is happening here, so focus on the manner in which content objects, okay, are structured for presentation and navigation. Okay, so the term information architecture is also used to connote structure that lead to a better organization of labeling, navigation, and the searching of the content objects. Okay, so we use this information architecture. So it contains the labeling, or different organization of architecture is there, how the searching everything will be done. Next one is the web app architecture. So web app architecture means the overall designing part. So it addresses the manner in which the application is structured. Means application means whole of the web app is structured to manage user interaction. Okay, handle internal processing task, effect navigation, and present content. So what is happening in the whole application? You will be interacting with the system, with the application software, whatever you did, you prepared. The user is, yeah, from the user point of view, user is interacting. So we'll interact from the interface only, but internally there will be different component. So how all the components they have all together connected in a hierarchical and arranged way to complete the task, to give, to serve the user for his own, for their objectives. So you can see how the content architecture is maintained, how the pages are, the contents are interconnected. So you can see here some, these are the same architectures, content architectures that are used in the different scenario. See here, you can see the linear way. This is linear content architecture. You can look here. Linear means one way is there, huh? Back and back and forward you can go. See here, so this is the linear kind of things. One page you started, you can go to that in a linear fashion to the end, up to the end, how many pages are there, and you can go back also. But there are other also options here, linear with optional flow. So this is the linear, the flow is linear, but there is options to flow left and right also. So you can see here, you can start, either you come this side, you can choose path like this. Okay, you can come like this, you can, then you can reach here. So there is a optional flow also. It is linear, but it is an optional flow you can do. Next one, linear with divergence. So here divergence is means if you have whenever we are traveling by our own vehicles, if some crossroads come, okay, two ways come, so we have to go either left or right. So we have to select. If we are going left, then we will definitely I have to leave the right, left move. So what is happening here? You chosen this type, left move, then all other will be left. So you have to left these things. If you are moving this side, then these ways will be, you have to leave these things. If you are coming this side, so what is this? Linear with divergence. This is the linear with divergence. So like payment we are doing in the payment system. Now what we have, at some point of time you have to go and up at the end to the final payment. We have to move, you have to come back one by one, you come back, like that. Next one is the grid structure. So grid is structure, it is nothing but what is this content you have arranged and in a rows and column kind of things. So in website also what you do, you take the table, okay, you create one table feature is there in HTML. In that what you can do, you can create different the table in different rows and columns, you can put the contents. And what you can do, because the tables and these things are not visible. Why? Because we make the lines, these borders invisible, but actually they are arranged in a columnar, these in a tabular fashions. Okay, that is why whenever you copy the content from the internet by copy option Control C, and and after copying we paste into the MS Word. So what happens? All the arrangement like these tables, because they are invisible, it is not visible to you, but you copied invisibly everything. Whenever you put into the MS Word, you will fight with that. Why? Okay, because the content will be arranged in the tabular format, but you will try to do that, there is no table behind that. So what you have to do, you have to make the border visible, then you can work with your contents. Okay, so this is the arrangement in the grid, how they are Grid wise they are connected to each other, the contents, different contents. So next one is the hierarchical structure. Hierarchical structure, in you can see here, it is a tree kind of structure. In that manner the contents are arranged. Contents means whatever content is there. Suppose you have written one article, one image section, one video section, there are different pages are there, how they are interlinked to each other. So this is the hierarchical structure you can see here. So hierarchical is a tree kind of structure. Okay, so you can see here in the, this is a root, means this is the inverted tree. If your real tree is there now, if you invert, you make the root upward and all leaves everything downwards, then this structure you will be able to visualize. So in that manner these pages are connected to each other. But you can see here network also. Okay, so in network, so what is the difference between the hierarchical structure and network structure? You can see the clear indication here. For some of the pages there is no direct reachability. There is no direct reachability. Suppose if I take this one and this one, I can go with some other options. I can come here. Okay, sorry, I can come this location. Okay, I can follow this path here, then I can go here, then I can come here. Okay, then I will reach to this location. So what is happening? I have to track these path, then I will come. So here what is this? There is no direct connection with other objects. But in network architecture, each and every object will be connected with which one another. You can look here. Okay, so this is the advantage of the network architecture, where there is a requirement of this type of architecture, where a person can reach to any other location immediately without intermediate navigations. So you can prefer this network. Okay, this navigation path, this architecture you can follow. So this is the main difference between the hierarchical and the network one. So it is also, this architecture is also, you can look here, it is similar to the mesh topology in the network. In the computer network there is a topology that how we connect the different devices in the network. So one is the topology arrangement of the nodes. It is a mesh topology. So this network architecture is like that. Next one is the, okay, so what we did, we had discussion before that, it was the interface. Now how to do these designing part, the application development. So many application development systems, those have the complex implementation, these things. So they use this MVC model. It is very famous model, MVC model, that is the model view controller. So they are using, so it separates the uh, different components within the applications. So they make the difference, so that you can make the differentiation, you can address each and every part individually. Okay, with that clear cut idea. So what is happening in the MVC is very important. The model view controller MVC is an architectural pattern that separates an application into three main logical components. Three main logical component means logical division is done. One is the model, next one is the view, and this is the controller. So based on that, all the designing, everything, the software will be done. And industry is nowadays using these standards. So each of these components are built to handle a specific development aspect of an application. So you have to focus on the which aspect you are working, either at the portion of the controller, view, or model. Okay, so MVC is very famous. You have to remember this one is also very important topic in the software, or not in the software industry, in other industries also it is being used heavily. This is the common standard. So MVC is one of the most frequently used industry standard, okay, widely used in the web development framework to create scalable and extensible projects. So why we prefer this one? Because we have made the model view controller logically, we have made this independently, we has broken. So what we can do, if you want to extend any of the portion in this, we have the flexibility to do this one. We can scale it, we can scale it, we can extend it. Okay, next you can see here the MVC architecture. You can look here. First one is the model. So model contains all, it contains all application specific content and processing logic, including all content objects, access to external data. Okay, some data is there, like database is there, access to external data information sources. Okay, all processing functionalities that are application specific. So who will contain, the model will contain these things. I will make it more clear with one example, real life example, then it will be very clear. But as of now, you see these points. So the view contains all interface specific function and enables the presentation of content and processing logic, access to external data, okay, and information sources, all processing functionality required by the end user. So what is doing view? So view contains all the interface specific functions and it enables, okay, presentation of the content, how you will present, okay, and processing logic, how you will process, access to the external data. External data means whatever input you want. You can take the example of like some person, you are going in a restaurant, okay, so in the restaurant you can think about one waiter. So who is the waiter? So waiter is interacting with the external, is interacting with the, suppose you are here, some person went, so that person is there, he will go and he will say what I want, huh? So this waiter will take the order or whatever he will tell, he will interact with the outer that. So what is happening here? After that, the controller manages access to the model and the view and the coordinates the flow of the data between them. So controller is a one component that manages access to the model and the view and the coordinates the flow of the data between them. So next who will be there? There will be a cook. Okay, there will be a cook. So taking order from this one, he will ask to this cook to prepare. So what he will do? He will take the, what he will take? He will take the data. What data means? He want to prepare some recipe for the person what he demanded. So he will take the different contents. He will prepare, and your model is nothing but your kitchen will be there. In the kitchen portions, everything will be done. So in the kitchen, if some item is there, you will prepare. Otherwise, what you will do, you will ask from the external like vegetables, everything. So in the same way, it is happening here also. So your controller manages access to the model and view and coordinates the flow of the data between them. So you can look here, this MVC architecture, it will be very clear without any explanation. So you can see here, this is the external data, means database will be there. So here model encapsulates all the functionality, logics, everything here. So it is interactive with this one. Next one, browser. We will interact with the client, will interact with the browser, and browser will come to, okay, browser means view. Okay, from interface you came here, previous data from the models, okay, request updates from the model, present view selected by the controller, you can see here, and Here the controller manages user request. Whatever user request is there, selects model behavior and select the view. The controller, it will do. Controller means like a waiter. He is controlling everything. What he needs, according to that he will select the model and everything. Okay. So what is happening? Once again you can see user request is placed here. Then it goes to the controller, view selections. Okay, prepare data from the models and taking the help of this one, then it will be served to the browser. So this is the MVC architecture that is being followed. Behavior, request, changes, everything is there. Next one very important part is the navigation. What is the navigation? Navigation means traversing from one place to another place within the application, or moving from one place to another place, that we call the navigation. So navigation is important because everything can't be put in a one page. You have to something there will be one platform, limited space that you will be able to watch. So what we have to do, navigation becomes very important, and demand those pages will come in that specified area. So here comes the role of the navigation. So navigation design is also one and very important aspect of your it is very important aspect of your user interface. Okay, so it begins with the consideration of the user hierarchy and the related use cases. Okay, what are the user and what are their usage, how they will use. So you will make in the you make the clear cut idea about these things in the requirements. Then each actor may use the web app somewhat differently and therefore have different navigation requirements. This also comes in a same application. There are different variety of users. They have their own objectives. They have their own requirements. So for example, educational website or college website is there. User like student, they have their different objectives. Administrators, they have some other objectives. Okay, and roles are distributed. Like some administrators, they have other rules, making changes, everything. So next H. Okay, as each user interact with the web app, she encounters a series of navigation semantic units. So what is navigation semantic units? So a navigation semantic unit is a set of information and related navigation structures. Okay, a set of information and related navigation structures that collaborate in the fulfillment of a subset of related user requirement. So that we call the NSU, that is the navigation semantic units. It will contain this navigation structure. Okay, and they will collaborate to fulfill the users what the task is there. So you can see here. So navigation semantic unit. So ways of navigation, how they will navigate means move from one page to another page, or one location to another location within the page. Sometimes we navigate within the page also, and that we call the intra page navigation. And another one is the interpage navigations. So that there are different portions are there. So here represents the best navigation way or path for user with certain profiles to achieve their desired goal or sub goal composed of. So we have the navigation nodes. These are the navigation nodes, and these edges are the navigation links. So in the HTML we use the hyperlinks now. For that hrefs like kind of things is there na, hrefs and anchor tag we use. These tags we use for linking one page to another page. Okay, so creating an NSU, that is we call the navigation semantic units. You can see here. So here user is there. User, you will navigate from the interface. Okay, you can follow one path.
room, select the room, recommend components, like here product components is there, request alternatives. Then you move here, show the descriptions, what are the subscriptions are there. Okay, you can see here marketing description, tech description, photographs, video and schematic. Okay, you can see here. Then show the product components different. After that, what is here, purchase product components. So you place some order for that. Bill of materials. Okay, then you came to the room. You can move from here, view bill of the materials, what you placed or what is the price. Bill of material you can see here of the room. So these are the different navigation architecture we as per the user requirement. So this is a sub okay, requirement means a small requirement in a complete web app. For users a specific requirement that we have we have created this NSU navigation semantic unit. You can see what is this one. These things are whatever components you are looking, these are the nodes and whatever directions you are watching. And this is the directed graph. Directed means which has the definite direction. Navigation is this. Okay, like this you can see here. So this is the navigation that we can do. In the payment now, sometimes if we press back, so what happens, we can't go back. If you will go back now, your transaction will be cancelled or some problem will come. Okay, if you press F5 like that, until and unless there is a back button, you can't go. Otherwise, there will be cancel payment or some option will be there. I hope it is clear. So this is very important aspect in your web app user interface. In that, creating a navigation is very important. So navigation syntax is there. For that you will be using the individual navigation link, horizontal navigation. Okay, horizontal navigation bar is there, scroll bar I told. Individual link is there, you click there and you directly go that location. Vertical like navigation, vertical like this. Okay, list of major components or functions categories, you can see list virtual all major content object with the web app. Next one, you can look here, tabs. Tab is also one navigation part. In tab, from one tab to another tab you can move. So tab means a metaphor that is nothing more than a variation of the navigation bar or column representing content or functional categories as a tab sheets. Okay, and tab sheets you can also see in tab portion. If you are using Microsoft Word or Excel PowerPoint, you may look different tabs. Okay, in browser itself you may be using different types in user na. In browser in one browser you can open many pages, many web like this is your main here. Different types you can create, open, and as you will open the new URL, it will be arranged one by one. It will be arranged one by one like that. So next one is the sitemap. Sitemap is nothing but it is a structure. It is a structure. What is this one? This is a structure of how the pages are connected, how the components are connected. It will give the overall glimpse of the connections of the different web pages within a web app, different nodes. So it provides an all is inclusive tab of contents for navigation to all content objects and functionality content within the web page. So this sitemap helps to know overall architecture of the application web app. So in that one portion, so previous example we have seen, it may be the one portion of that. So your sitemap clearly depicts how the pages are connected, what are the contents there, and how you can move.
So this is the navigation. Navigation means movement, moving within the page or from one place to another page. Okay, then component level design is there. Web app components implement the following functionality. Okay, it perform localized processing to generate content and navigation capability in a dynamic fashion. So it provides the computation or data processing capability that are appropriate for the web apps business domain and provides sophisticated database query and accesses. Sophisticated database query means SQL or anything. So establish data interface with external corporate system. External corporate systems, some that can your web app can also have the external linkage for that. So what is this? This is the component level design. So web component implement these functionalities, localized component computation and processing capability. Okay, with respect to the web app business domain. And next one is the definitely you need some database, and for interacting the database you need to interact with some language, that is the SQL, structured query language for accessing, and then you will establish data interface with the external corporate systems also. Okay, so these are the different things that we discussed. Okay, now we are ending this presentation, and what we covered in this the web app interface design principles we covered, and MVC models also we covered a little. So we are stopping the presentation today. We will start in the next class.